Exciting stories of Starknight. Main actors: Roger Starknight and XOR. Educational Zork's years. Copyright for ideas, text, and graphics is held by Raymond Rao. The graphics were created using KI and DALL E3 using descriptions from the author and were individually edited and changed. The author is responsible for all content. Further information, as well as my contact email, can be found on this page. Prehistory. The alien that was referred to at the beginning of Volume 1 had crashed with his spaceship near a secret scientific camp on Earth at night, and Roger Campbell was the one who helped him in his hiding place to repair the damaged spaceship. During his space years, the former engineer Robert Campbell became Roger Starknight. During the years they spent together in space, Roger learned the real name of it, who was known as XOR on his home planet Vorx. XOR and Roger quickly realized that they could communicate with each other through telepathy. After the emergency repair, Roger decided to leave Earth with him at XOR's suggestion, as there was nothing left to hold him on Terra. And nothing to bind him, because he had been living alone for a long time anyway. He was just excited to see what would await him at XOR's side. XOR took Starknight to his home planet Zorx in the Andromeda Nebula at the beginning of their years together, to teach him the much more advanced Zorxian technology and peace.
XOR, I am amazed at how peacefully I am received here by your people.
Roger, we are a completely peaceful race and are always open and without any reservations to everything new and foreign. No one must take advantage of us.
The cities on Zorx had a similarity to those on Terra, but they were still not matching. They were always full of peaceful life and fascinated Starknight every time again that everyone here supported each other without any violations.
XOR, I need a little more time to get used to XORX and your people before we can fly on space expedition again.
Don't worry, that's not planned yet.
XOR showed Starknight gigantic spaceship ports and introduced him to many important Zorxians.
You helped XOR and he wouldn't have come back without you. I had the honor of meeting the first peaceful Terran.
It is an honor for me to personally speak to Toran, the great regent of Zorx, via telepathy.
All the Zorxians that Starknight was allowed to meet were individually unique in their abilities, and he learned a lot from them. Toran and the Zorxian Council decided that Starknight would receive intensive training on Zorx, because he had selflessly saved one of their own on Earth. Toran also made sure that the best of the best in their field trained Starknight in astronomy, navigation, simulations of operating all Zorxian spacecraft types, operation and handling of heavy ground vehicles, practical training in operating and flying all types of spacecraft.
Starknight, you saved a Zorxian, and we show our gratitude by having you schooled and trained by the best Zorxians in their respective fields of knowledge.
Toran, I consider it a gesture of great trust.
Gradually, Starknight mastered all Zorxian spacecraft. Starknight quickly learned to navigate and take off from spaceports. Medical knowledge was also imparted. Starknight himself was skeptical whether he could really process and retain all the knowledge that was conveyed to him, but there was also a highly developed neurological interface on Zorx, consisting of fine electrodes that were directly connected to the brain of a subject. These connections were able to convert data and signals from the large Zorxian knowledge databases into neural signals and transfer them to the connected brains. The knowledge transfer through these neural connections for Starknight was also approved by Toran, as Starknight would become a full-fledged Zorxian in terms of knowledge after these previous 2 years of training. This neural knowledge transfer always took place under supervision and by Zorxian professional staff. After this time, Starknight was a full-fledged Zorxian in terms of knowledge, feeling, and thinking, but also still a Terran, a shifter between worlds, so to speak. After this time, he was also always welcome in the direct family area of Exor.
Roger, you are welcome among us.
Nice to be able to spend time with you all.
We are basically a peaceful race. But if someone tries to use violence from outside to influence us, then we can also defend ourselves, but these techniques and this knowledge have now been imparted to you.
After 3 Zorxian years, Starknight's training was completed, and the first missions awaited.
Taking on my own responsibility is now completely conceivable for me.
Congratulations, you now have all the permissions. Soon, we will embark on joint missions, and you, too, will be responsible for leading ships.
The inner bond with Exor became increasingly intense, and he and Starknight had long established absolute trust in each other.